While most of the world has been dealing with slow growth, a lot of uncertainties, high debt, the region has been writing a very different story. And I would say it comes down to three different pillars. The first one is diversification. The region learned early on that you cannot build a stable future on something as unpredictable as oil. And it's been diversifying. We're seeing the numbers, they're great. Those visions and strategies we're seeing from Vision 2030 to all the strategies that got created in the UAE and Oman, they're not just a branding exercise. They're actually clear roadmaps to reduce dependency on oil and create new economic engines. And believe me, it's not easy when you're sitting on so much wealth. It's so tempting to, stay comfortable, keep doing what you're doing. But the leadership here decided to do things differently, to modernize, to diversify, and to invest on the long term. The second pillar is neutrality and global engagement. And I wouldn't take this one for granted. It's one of the few regions that is able to trade with the United States, partner with China, invest in Africa, build ties with Asia. And this ability to work with everyone without picking sides has opened a whole new world of opportunities and is making the region a safe haven for capital. And it goes beyond economics. The region has become a very trusted diplomatic partner. We're seeing it, right? Hosting peace talks, mediating conflicts, leading humanitarian efforts, and that tells you something. Finally, it's the investment in the future. We've seen it with renewable energy, infrastructure, and logistics, and now we're seeing it again with AI. I mean, the initiatives are amazing. So it's not waiting for the future to unfold, it's actually building the future and is setting the bar pretty high. I don't think it's the end of globalization. I think it's being reorganized. It's taking a new form. And if you look closely at the word, you could probably break it down into four different orders. An economic order that is shaped today by sanctions and tariffs and trade wars, and that's deciding, who trades with who, who's going to grow, who's going to be left behind. So you do have some clusters of influence getting created. Then you have a digital order where AI, chips, data are the new frontiers of power. It's not about innovation anymore, it's about control. And decisions that are made today by countries and by companies will determine who are the winners of the future and who is going to lag behind. The third order is the military order, where wars are not fought by, with tanks and with soldiers anymore. They're fought with drones, with cyber attacks, and small groups that can disrupt global supply chain, as we've seen happening in the Red Sea with the Houthis. And finally, the climate order. You have countries betting their whole future on green transition and investing heavily in it, and other countries are, looking at it as a joke. So the key is to adapt fast, and to be well positioned within this new landscape. Let me start maybe with the US and then move into the region, because that is the world's largest economy. Whatever happens there set the tone for everywhere else. Within this geopolitical landscape or the uncertainties that came with tariffs, people initially predicted, a total collapse. But markets and economies have, remained pretty resilient, I would say. And one indicator I like to look at is a credit spread that remained very, very tight. And what does it mean? It means that investors, have confidence that corporates and companies are going to pay back their debt. They're not factoring in or pricing in, a major default or a financial crisis. When it comes to the region, one of the challenges has been that investors look at the region, as a source of capital and liquidity, like an ATM, basically. But things started to change because of the great things that the region is getting right that we've discussed earlier. And the UAE recorded in 2024 $45 billion of FDI inflows, and that's a big increase from previous years. When it comes to inflation, the Fed has remained, very cautious with cutting interest rate despite the political pressure that it's getting. That's because inflation has not been fully tamed yet. The IMF is projecting global inflation to cool down from 4.2 to 3.7% in 2026, which, it's still above the target in many places in the world. But in the region, it's relatively contained compared to many other emerging markets.